What's going on, everybody? Welcome. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. We are breaking down the main slate for Sunday, June 8th. So if you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. We do a little bit differently here, which the majority of you do like it. We go through each game on this slate. We look at the pitching matchups, the batter splits, historical matchups, everything we can. We try to give you some plays in each game that we can talk about. So we're going to look at that. It's an 8-game main slate. We got a one real early game, a 9-game main slate, I believe. And then we've got like the Coors game. Anytime there's a Coors game, it's not in there. Then there's like a 2-game afternoon or night slate. And then there's the Sunday Night Baseball game. So we are going to do a separate video on the Sunday Night Baseball game between the Red Sox and the Yankees. But I wanted to bring this to you. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to use Outlier. Then after that, we're going to give you, after we break down each game, we're going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. We do 20,000 a day. It's usually uploaded about an hour before the main slate locks. And then after that, we do Pitches Be Crazy. So we look at all the pitchers that are going up against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. And then at the very end, we're going to give you all the batters we think could get you 2+ bases or strikeouts from pitchers. So we'd call that Makin bacon bets. We also try to have 2 giveaways a day, and here's how you could win today, right now. You got to like this video, you got to be a subscriber to the channel, and you got to leave a comment. You do all 3 of those, and this video gets a minimum of 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports. It's not just MLB. So current sports, we're doing MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. This video gets 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, you will have a shot at a $500 lifetime pass. We also have 5 spots still available. First come, first serve, email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. You can find the email in the description of this video. If you want the yearly special, instead of $199, you can get it for $99 right now. Next 5 people that email it. The second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, and have a second shot at a free week. So looking at this is from yesterday's video. We had over 1,000 views. We had over 130 likes. We also had people do the comment or the keyword. So we are going to see, this is just for getting the likes, not the keyword here. So a minimum of 50 likes, and this is always triggered. So there you go. Pollock Hillbilly 4492, congratulations. You have won. Please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Put in the subject line that you are the 6-7 video views winner, and then your username on our website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. The keyword from yesterday was black cherry or some form of cherry in it. So we're still going to re-roll it, so you still have a shot here to be a winner again. Now, we have not had, well, actually, the other day we had the same person win. There you go, Cujo Blue, congratulations. Cherry Coke, I do like me some Cherry Coke. So congratulations, Cujo. Please email me again. You know the drill. I need the subject line being the 6-7 video keyword winner, and then in the email itself, let me know what your username on the website is. So congratulations to both of you. Now we are going to use Outlier. So the link will be down below. You're going to get a 7-day free trial to them. After those 7 days, if you do decide to move forward and go their normal package, we are going to give, using our link, we are going to give you a free week. You just got to provide proof that you signed up using our link. After that, if you decide to do the premium package instead, we are going to give you a free month of FTA+. So FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is the website. We've got a 9-game slate. We're looking pretty good. If we're looking at ballpark factors for the day, without looking at weather, Great American Small Park has the best odds for home runs. The wind is blowing out and it's hot and humid. You got Coors Field, of course, but not on this main slate. You got Nationals Park, which is 11% chance. You got Baltimore at the Athletics. It's hot and very humid out there. The wind is blowing directly out. You got Angel Stadium, Seattle at the Angels. You got Guaranteed Rate Field, so the Royals at the White Sox. Steinbrenner Field, Miami at Tampa Bay. That is a minor league ballpark. The ball flies out of there. Then you got American Family Field. It is a dome, but it's got an 18% chance of home runs right now between San Diego and Milwaukee. So like I said, we're going to go through all of these, and we are going to go game by game, looking at everything. We do have a couple of like weather concerns here in the middle, kind of the same storm you got with Cleveland as well. So out of 9 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 9 do have weather concerns. Again, it's Sunday. Sometimes if they don't play each other much at all, and there's not an off day tomorrow, they will try to get this game in. So we'll kind of see and monitor. We do have some weather concerns, but we're going to go through this like there are no weather concerns at all, and then we will build out from there. So we look at San Diego at Milwaukee. Now, we've got Ryan Burgett versus Aaron Savale. So Burgett's 5,500, got a 2 ERA, but if you look into those, he's only started once, which is 5 innings, and then 1 start, and that was away. Now he goes into Milwaukee. I don't trust him much. I don't know how deep he's going to go into games. It's very iffy, like 16, 13, 14, 8, and 83 pitches. It's very up and down. He is going up against Milwaukee at home, so at 5,500, we could throw him in there because he is so cheap, but the strikeouts aren't really there either. So it might not even though he's that cheap, if he's not getting you strikeouts, he's not getting you fantasy points. Then you got Aaron Savale coming in 6,800, a cheaper option. He's going up against San Diego, though. He's got a 5.19 ERA. Like, he's had success. The past 2 games, he's had double-digit. 1 in Cincy, which is pretty good because, again, the ball flies out of there. Then 1 against Boston, the team strikes out a ton. He only got 4 strikeouts in that game, though, in 5 innings. He's 6,800. So what you're looking for on DraftKings, basically a minimum of 25 fantasy points from your pitchers, since you have 2. And then basically on FanDuel, 45 to 50 is kind of what we're looking for in the range there. So looking at that, you're like, oh, okay, we'll talk about it. But then we can dig in and we can look at the numbers. We can look at how the batters are doing against the opposing teams, or the batters are doing against right-handed pitchers or left-handed pitchers, so on and so forth. So looking at this, San Diego they barely faced Savale, just basically 1 start except for a rise. So Elias Diaz does have a home run, Machado has a home run, and Fernando Tatis Jr., they all have home runs against him. And again, the ball flies out of this ballpark too. But then we dig in just a little bit more and we look at how they're doing overall this year against right-handed pitching. So you look at this. You've got Luis Arraez batting 295 with a home run. Again, he's not really a home run guy, but he also doesn't strike out. You've got Jake Cronenworth batting 268. I would look at Gavin Sheets as one of my favorite plays. He's got double-digit home runs, batting 270 against righties. Lockridge would be a cheaper option. You obviously pay up for Tatis, who's got double-digit home runs. You could pay up for Jackson Merrill, who's batting 323. There's always Machado. You see him in red, but he's still batting 315 against righties. Does hit lefties better this year with more home runs, but we can see Machado does have 3 home runs. So a full stack here, I do not mind whatsoever. You look at Milwaukee bats against Burgett. We don't know what he's really going to give you. We don't know how deep he's going to go into the games. And then to see how they're doing against righties this year, William Contreras batting 261 with 5 bombs. You've got Bryce Terang batting 279 with 3. Jackson Chourio 214, but he does have 6 home runs. Christian Yelich got double-digit home runs, batting 260. Sal Frelick batting 267 with 4 home runs. Daz Cameron would be a cheaper option. Rhys Hoskins could be another cheap option there as well. Again, it's Sunday, so a lot of players sometimes rest on Sunday. The majority of them are catchers, but you might see like a Jake Bauers being starting here instead of Hoskins, or you might see Frelick out there, maybe Yelich DHing, or just depending on where you're going in this game. So looking at this, I'm probably not looking at the pitching at all. I'm probably looking at stacking. I think I'd rather stack San Diego more, but I think I'll have Milwaukee as well. Now, I'll let you guys know I'm wrong, not right all the time. So that's kind of what I do. So we're just going to go through them, give you guys ideas how we would break these games. This is how I break down games. Unlike some of the other bigger names out there where, in my mind, they probably steer you towards some of these plays so the ownership goes up and then they zig when you zag. They don't have your best interests at heart. I'm giving you the exact plays that I would do. You guys know that. If you're new to the channel, that's how we roll. If you want to check out other things, in the description is the free Discord where I give out core plays, some value plays, and some stacks that we like that are straight from our cheat sheet every single day. If you want to check that out or check us out for a week on the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, FTA Plus is only $10. So then we look at Texas at Washington here. Weather being a concern, you got Tyler Mahle versus Trevor Williams. Again, every day it seems that we talk about Mahle. I don't understand how he's doing what he's doing. He is coming off a bad game against Tampa Bay with 4 runs there. He is still just 2.02 ERA. The strikeouts are kind of low, though. That's the problem. And I did not use him against Tampa Bay because his strikeouts are kind of low. They're at 5, so those are great, but then you give up earned runs and then you walk. Those are all negative fantasy points. Those take you down. Splits-wise, has not faced Washington this year. Washington's a good hitting team against righties this year. I'm probably fading him at 9K if this game gets played. And then you got Trevor Williams. We stacked against him with the Cubs last time. It worked out. Gave us 5 earned runs against him, 4 strikeouts. He got 4.2. Now he is going up against Texas. Texas overall, their offense has been pretty bad. In his career against this current team, 66 plate appearances, a 310 batting average. So I'm not using Trevor Williams either. Now, it's not been 100% confirmed that it's Tyler Mahle, but it is his turn in the rotation. So Baseball Savant has not confirmed it, but I fully expect it to be Mahle. But that doesn't matter. I'm not using either pitcher. I'm just using the bats in this one to feel more comfortable. If the game plays. So looking at the batters against Trevor Williams, Jonah Heim does have a home run. Berger has 2. They've seen enough. Like, it's a handful of them for some of the pitcher or batters. And then we dig in a little bit more. So Texas bats, again, like I said, overall this year, their offense has been kind of iffy. We haven't used them much, at least for a stack. But I mean, if we were going to go in that direction, Jonah Heim makes a little bit of sense. I don't know if he'll start, but he does. Josh Young makes sense. Corey Seager batting 278. You've got Adolis Garcia only batting 228, but he hits righties better. 7 bombs there. Josh Smith is another one that I do like. 277 batting average, 5 home runs. There's always Wyatt Langford. And then a sneaky one, if he gets the start, because it is a Sunday, maybe a Sam Haggerty. Not necessarily a power guy, but if he gets on, he's got speed and get you those fantasy points, stealing bases. That's kind of where I'm usually at when I look. And then Washington bats against righties. Just kind of looking. The ones I would look at is Nate Lowe. You guys know I like him. 8 bombs. James Wood, I would look at. Obviously, CJ Abrams. I'm looking at Kybert Ruiz being a catcher. I don't know if he'll be in there today. But then a couple of cheaper ones that I would look at. Luis Garcia Jr., Robert Hassel, or even Jacob Young here. Or is it Jared? I think it's Jacob Young. Young, I don't know if he'll be in there, but if he is, that is how I would round out if you're doing a 5-man stack for Washington. So I'm going to give the edge to Washington, but the weather is going to play a big factor, I think. Philly at Pittsburgh is next. You got Paul Skeens versus Christopher Sanchez. Skeens has been absolutely on fire this year. He's getting no run support. He's got a 2 ERA, 4-6 record, putting up double digits almost every single game. He's just not getting run support. Now he is facing Philly. He faced him back on May 18th, went 8 innings in that game, 9 strikeouts, lost the game 1-0. Had 34.1 fantasy points there. He absolutely shoves. He's my favorite pitcher for the day. He would get more fantasy points if his team didn't stink. Now, what I think they should do is trade him. The haul would be amazing for the Pirates, but they will never trade him. There's no way they trade him. Then you got Christopher Sanchez. Got a great matchup here going up against Pittsburgh. He's not faced them this year. 3.02 ERA. For his price, he really hasn't hit value for a while. Again, like I said, we need about 25 fantasy points, but he's got a great matchup here that I do not mind. Hopefully we get 6+ innings out of him. 7 to 8+ strikeouts would be where I'm looking at in this one. But if we are looking at the bats, it's 100% Philly bats. It's not Pittsburgh. It's Trey Turner. It's Kyle Schwab. It's Nick Castellanos. It's like those would be the ones, and those are only if you trust or you think that Skeens is going to have a bad game. Personally, I don't think he will. You could always throw in just a Philly stack. Like this is if you make multiple lineups. You could throw in a Philly stack just because Skeens is so good. He's going to be the highest owned pitcher on the day. If he does struggle, you will be up on the field that much. But I'm not going in that direction. I will have Skeens here. Pittsburgh, I'm not having Pittsburgh. I don't like their offense. I don't like anything. So if I'm doing anything in this game here, it's most likely just Skeens, and that is it. Now let's hope the rain holds off. Let's hope they don't start the game, then the rain comes in, you pay $11,000 for one of your pitchers, and then he goes 2 innings, and then the rain delay. So that's the only thing that does scare me. This could be an ugly main slate with as much rain concern as there is. Arizona at Cincy is the next one. They've had a ton of rain this weekend. It's been just every single game, there's something going on. So by the time you watch this video, this might not even be the matchup here because as of now, the game's played. There's no weather. But again, you never know. So we got Zach Gallen versus Brady Singer. Brady Singer, 7,900. He's averaging 13.2. That's not enough. You got Zach Gallen against Cincy. He's averaging 13.7 at his price. That's not enough either. I don't want either of them. I am looking at bats. Now, that just depends if we get the bats in here, but just kind of looking at Arizona bats against him. Josh Naylor's the only one that has a home run. He does have a day-to-day tag, so we'll see if he plays. But then we dig in. They do hit righties well. So if you look at how they're hitting righties, especially in this ballpark with the game, if the rain holds off and the wind keeps up, it could be good. That's why I'm more focused on Arizona bats, but I'm also going to have some Cincy. So looking at Arizona bats, Moreno batting 282 with 3 bombs. Ketel Marte batting 341 with 10 home runs. Got Josh Naylor if he's in there, batting 321 this year against righties with 6 home runs. Eugenio Suarez has 13. This is his former ballpark. So revenge factor, homecoming, if you want to use any of those narratives, you can. Corbin Carroll, 15 home runs, double-digit home runs, batting on 269, steals bases as well. Havin Smith batting 295. This feels like one of those where Arizona is a 2+ stack for me today. If you're new to the channel, what a 2+ stack means is we like more than 5 people on this team. You can only have 5 offensive players on DraftKings, 4 on FanDuel. Since we like more than 5, we got to make multiple different lineups with this team. That is where we are at. Cincy bats against Gallen, really no success. So you could throw him in there. They've not had any success against him. But he has struggled this year. And then we look at how they've done against righties this year. They hit righties way better. So Ellie De La Cruz batting 292 with double-digit home run. Jose Trevino batting 333. You got Austin Lynn's batting 444, just depending on which catcher's out there. Gavin Lux batting 320. Will Benson batting 286. TJ Friedel batting 325. Like, they're hitting very well. Jake Fraley could be a sneaky option. Only batting 184, but does have a couple 4 home runs there. Spencer Steer, like, this game could be a high-scoring game. It just will be very dependent on if the rain is too much or not. That's kind of what we're looking at there. So you could maybe throw in Zach Gallen because of how well he has done against them in the past. And he is coming off a great game against Atlanta, but he had so many bad games in a row. It's very hard to trust him with 7,600, averaging 13.7 and a 5+ ERA here. That's what scares me. Same rain system. We got Houston at Cleveland. So it's not 100% confirmed that it is Walter, but it is probable. He's in Cleveland on Saturday and will be the 27th man on the roster. 28-year-old could start in. So they think he might start. Don't know much about him. Did 5 innings May 20th against Tampa Bay. Had 18.9. You're supposed to, because Tampa Bay is bad. Now Cleveland's better, way better than Tampa Bay. And then you got Tanner Bybee. Comes in 3.89 ERA. He's been okay the past couple of games. 16.7 against the Yankees is not enough. Did give up 2 home runs. Splits wise, you can see. Has not faced Houston this year, and then when he pitches at home, he does better at home. But Houston's offense is quietly, I think, like 10 games up over 500 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. So that's the only thing that kind of scares me. It has not been confirmed that it is, in fact, going to be Walter, but at his price of 6,700, I'm okay with that, but Cleveland, they can hit. And then weather being a concern also scares me. But if we look at the batters against Tanner Bybee, like Christian Walker's the only one with a home run. Against righties this year, like Pena batting 316 with 7 bombs. Altuve batting 262 with 7. You've got Melton could be a very cheap option. I don't know if he'll be in there. Cam Smith batting 250. You got your Yonder Diaz or Victor Caratini. Both would be cheap catching options today. Isak Paredes, I do like him. 12 home runs or double-digit home runs, 267 batting average. That makes sense. Cleveland bats this year against righties. Just overall, like I would look at Jose Ramirez, who's batting 330 on the year. I would look at Steven Kwan, who's batting 306. Angel Martinez batting 245. I would look at him a little bit. Couple of cheap options, Manzardo or Schneemann. They make a little bit of sense. That's probably the extent that I go in this game. I don't know if I'll have any pitching, but I'll for sure have the bats, I think, on both sides. The ownership on Bybee, I think, could be a little bit lower and best to our advantage, so you could use him. It just depends on what we're going to get there. Hopefully the rain holds off, though. Then you got the Cubs at Detroit. You got Jack Flaherty versus Cade Horton. So Horton being 8,200. Detroit does strike out the 5th most out of any team, so we could use that to our advantage possibly. He is 8,200 though, and he's only averaging 12.7, so that does scare me. And then Jack Flaherty being 9,500. He's obviously seen the Cubs enough, being that he was with the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cubs are a different team when he was with the Cardinals, but in his career, 77 plate appearances, 182 batting average, 27.3 K percentage, and only a 9.1 walk rate on that. And you look at Jack Flaherty here. He's got a 3.72 ERA. Pretty decent. His last 4 starts, double digits. Did have a bad start against Texas. Now, this is in Detroit, not Chicago, but the Cubs put up a ton of home runs on Saturday. But again, Flaherty has had their number before. Being 9,500 and only averaging 18.1 kind of scares me because, again, you need 25 plus on DraftKings and you need 45 plus on Fanduel. And I don't know if he gets that, just the way the Cubs have been hitting this year. But then we can look at the bats. Swanson, Turner, Happ all have 1 home run, and then Kyle Tucker has 2 home runs against Jack Flaherty. And then you look right-handed pitching. This year, Carson Kelly batting .291 with 8 home runs. I think he's probably going to start this game since Reese McGuire started on Saturday. So that's one to look at. Michael Busch had a home run yesterday. So he's got double-digit home runs, .296 batting average. Dansby Swanson batting .257. You got PCA. I mean, he's been absolutely on fire. He had another big home run on Saturday. .313 batting average there. Kyle Tucker batting .274, 7 home runs. Tucker does hit lefties better, but a Cubs stack makes a ton of sense because a lot of people are going to be on Flaherty, and he has 9,000 plus on DraftKings. And then we look, Cubs or Detroit bats, they've never faced Horton before, but against righties this year, like Kerry Carpenter batting .287, Riley Green batting .315, Winseal Perez could be a cheap option batting .346. There's always Javi Baez, who's kind of cooled off a little bit the past couple of weeks. You got Spencer Torkelson, who's beating those washed allegations, like he's having a great year so far. Those make a ton of sense to me because I don't know if I trust Cade Horton whatsoever. Keyword of the day is garage. Because if you haven't had garage beer yet, it's actually pretty good. This is the lime one. And I can hose down about 8 of these and not really feel anything and be pretty good. But I'm not going to take down 8 because I have to power wash a deck sometime this weekend. I haven't decided when I'm going to be doing it. So looking at this, like that's kind of where I'm at. Parker Meadows is another one that I would look at for Detroit if we're stacking Detroit. So that's what I would do in this game. It all is dependent. I don't think I want to pay that much for Flaherty because of how just unbelievably good the Cubs have been this year. It's wild. It's pretty cool to see, though. So the next game is the Kansas City Royals at the Chicago White Sox. Don't know what we're going to get out of that. Rain being a concern here. It's not been confirmed that it is Owen White here. Was a waiver claim by Chicago during the spring training. It hasn't pitched well in Charlotte. Bullpen some link, but could wind up getting a short-term look at the rotation. Jonathan Cannon being placed on the IL. So he could start. We don't know. It's really doesn't matter to me. It's stack the Royals and probably look a little bit of Lorenzen. Lorenzen is coming off of back-to-back negative fantasy games. We've stacked against him both of those games, and it has worked out tremendously for us. In his career against the White Sox, 39 plate appearances, a 152 batting average, 23.1 strikeout percent. He's 6,900. He is averaging only 11, but I'm okay with that. So I'll have a little bit of exposure to Michael Lorenzen, but then wait for this lineup to come out for Kansas City. The ones I'm just off the top of my head, it's probably going to be Freddie Fermin. I could look at him. I would look at Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at Jonathan India, Michael Garcia. Again, cheaper options in the outfield be Drew Waters or Kyle Isbell as well. So I'm off of the White Sox. If this game gets played, I'm on Michael Lorenzen, and I am on a Kansas City stack for sure. Toronto, Minnesota is the next game. You got Joe Ryan versus Bowden Francis. Joe Ryan coming in, 66 plate appearances against this team, 274 batting average, 21.2 K percentage. Bowden Francis comes in 9 plate appearances, but Bowden Francis has been trash this year. We stacked against him last game. He gave up 7 runs, 6 of them earned. Against Philly, 2 home runs, negative 10.3. Now going up against a Minnesota team that can hit, I want nothing to do with Francis. Could I be wrong? Sure. Am I going to be? Probably not. And then Joe Ryan comes in. Is coming off a bad start against Atlanta, or the Athletics. That ballpark again, though. I did warn or preface the pick last week by saying, not the best matchup for him. He's a great pitcher, not the best matchup because the ball just flies out of that ballpark. And that's exactly what happened. Gave up 4 earned runs. Tampa Bay, kind of the same thing, but he did have a good game there. And then Cleveland, 10.3. The strikeouts just were a little bit low. He's not faced Toronto this year. If I were to take a pitcher in this one, it would be Joe Ryan. And I would be looking at stacking Minnesota here overall. So if I'm taking a pitcher, I don't know if I will have any exposure to him, but it would be Joe Ryan. And then we look at Joe Ryan against them. No one's hit a home run. Toronto bats, if you're going that way, Addison Barger, 277 batting average, 7 bombs. Alejandro Kirk, if he gets in there, is batting 294. Bo Bichette batting 286, kind of having a little bit bounce back year from last year. It's a contract year for him, so usually what happens. You got Jonathan Clase, 244 batting average, be a cheap option. I don't know if he's in there. Luke should be another one. And then obviously if you're going to pay up, like George Springer, Guerrero, Bo Bichette would be the ones that you pay up for here. But I kind of like Joe Ryan more. And then Minnesota against Francis. Cody Clemens does have a home run, and so does Trevor Larnach. Would not be surprised if Larnach goes deep in this one. And then you can see, like, Larnach batting 286 this year against righties. Ty France batting 282. Cody Clemens batting 253. Vasquez or Ryan Jeffers, depending on which catcher it is. Hopefully it's Jeffers. I would take those guys. And there's always a Brooks Lee would be a cheap option. Harrison Bader would be a cheaper option. Carlos Correa is in there. Willie Castro. You can just use those guys there. So to reiterate, I'm using Joe Ryan, and I'm stacking Minnesota over Bowden Francis and Toronto. And then the final game of the main slate, we've got the Dodgers at the Cardinals. You've got Clayton Kershaw versus Michael McGreevy. So Kershaw has kind of been up and down. He's got a 5 ERA, 6,500, 3.1 against the Mets, 10.5 against Cleveland, 5.9 against the Mets, but that was a rain delay and he didn't come back out. And then the Angels, who strike out the most out of any team, 4 innings, 5 earned runs, minus 1.8. He just has not looked good. I don't think I want to pay 6,500 for him. I know he has vintage Kershaw game somewhere in the tank. It could be this one. But if I recall, St. Louis hits lefties pretty good. Then you got Michael McGreevy. Game logs, he started 1 game back on May 4th. He getting called up to start on Sunday. 5.2 innings in that game against the Mets. 1 walk, 5 Ks, 25 fantasy points, which would be perfect here. But he does not have a good matchup. He's going up against the Dodgers, which you never want to see, but that's what we've got. So we're going to look at the game, and we're going to see what makes sense here. So it's not 100% confirmed Kershaw, but it should be. And it's not 100% confirmed McGreevy, but it will be. So Dodgers bats against just this year that I would look at. Will Smith batting 327. Obviously Freddie Freeman batting 363. Kim batting 404. He hasn't been in some games lately. I don't know why. I would look at them. Ohtani obviously got 23 home runs, batting 295 on the year. You've got Max Muncy, who's one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. Conforto, Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edman. Those all make sense. But what I want to look at are the Cardinals bats against Kershaw. So Arenado has seen him a ton, 25 at-bats, 2 home runs in those games, batting 240. Against lefties this year, though, you can see Ivan Herrera, 344 batting average, 4 home runs. Hopefully he's starting today. Hopefully he is a cheap catching option for you. Nolan Arenado batting 281. Wilson Contreras batting 271 with a home run. So you would like to see more home runs out of him, but we'll take what we can get. Then you've got Lars Nootbaar batting 253. Like overall, they don't hit lefties as well as they do righties, but I don't trust Kershaw. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Kershaw because he's still the stud. Kershaw is somewhere in that tank. It might be in this game, probably not, but I want to have both sides just in case. With McGreevy, I mean, you could throw McGreevy in there just because he is 7,400. I don't know why he's priced up that much, because he's averaging 25 fantasy points in 1 start. He should be, if he was under 7K, I would feel more comfortable with that, but we're still looking at, you need basically 25. Now, that is what he's averaging, but it's only 1 game, so that does scare me a little. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of the main slate. Now we're going to do all of the batters that currently have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulation. The majority of them are going to be in Colorado, which is always the case on a Sunday. And usually Sunday, the Colorado game is in the middle. So you always have a main slate that starts at like noon. Then you have your afternoon slate that starts at like 3 Central. And you always have this Coors Sunday game at 2:10 Central. So it's outside of the main. It's outside of the late or afternoon or whatever it's night slate, whatever they call it. So unfortunately, I mean, we're still going to go through them. And if you want to see these, you can go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, MLB tab, the matchup tool will have your batters there. So that being said, here we go. Number 1 is Aaron Judge, which is Sunday Night Baseball. We're going to have a breakdown for that. Number 2 is Shohei Ohtani. Number 3 is Lindor. 4 is Juan Soto. 5 is Pete Alonso. 6 is Brandon Nimmo. 7 is Kyle Tucker. 8 is Corey Seager, 9 Gleyber Torres, 10 Cal Raleigh, 11 Mookie Betts, 12 JP Crawford, 13 Wilson Contreras, 14 Mason Wynn, 15 Andrew Benintendi, 16 Brendan Donovan, 17 Matt Chapman, and 18 is Nolan Arenado versus Clayton Kershaw. So there will be more. So about an hour or two before main slate locks every day, we update the simulations to put 20,000 sims out there. If you want to check that out, make sure you go to the MLB tab, go down, you can look at simulations, you can look at BVP matchups, you can look at the matchup tool as well. So now we're going to do pitches be crazy. And these are the top 5 pitchers against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. So number 1 is George Kirby at the Angels. The Angels strike out 9.65 times per game, 9.92 at home. Number 2 is Tyler Meagle at Colorado. Again, it's always a little bit scary to do Colorado because Coors. But the Rockies strike out 9.63 times per game, 9.48 at home. Number 3 is Carlos Rodon versus the Red Sox. The Red Sox strike out 9.23 times per game, 10.38 on the road. Number 4 is Tyler Anderson versus Seattle. The Mariners strike out 8.97 times per game, 8.76 on the road. And finally, Cade Horton at Detroit. Detroit strikes out 8.92 times per game, 8.80 at home. So again, that's number 1, George Kirby. Number 2, Tyler Meagle. Number 3 is Carlos Rodon. Number 4 is Tyler Anderson. And number 5 is Cade Horton. Now, don't forget, you still have Paul Skeens in there. Again, though, not the best matchup for him against Philly, but still, he's got the strikeout stuff. But these are just the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. And now we're going to do make and bacon bets. So as of right now, a ton of weather concerns, I get that. But looking at this, the number 1 game right now, Diamondbacks at the Reds. That's why I said I really don't want any pitcher. I'd rather take the offenses. But here we go. Number 1, and these are batters we think could get 2+ bases. Now, I wouldn't say parlay all of them together, but you can parlay 2 or 3 together. Do same game, different like same game parlay X, so you can do multiple different same game parlays in one. But Lindor, number 1. Number 2 is Shohei Ohtani. Number 3 is Aaron Judge. Number 4 is Corey Seager. 5 is Pete Alonso. 6 is Mookie Betts. 7 is Cal Raleigh. 8, Kyle Tucker. 9, Wilson Contreras. 10, Juan Soto. So those are our 10 right now. These are through 10,000 sims. And then pitchers we think could get some strikeouts here. In this order is what I would kind of look at. But Paul Skeens versus Philly, you can find a line for 6 or 7+ strikeouts. I would hammer the 7+. Carlos Rodon, I would look at against Red Sox. It is Sunday Night Baseball, but I would look at 7+ strikeouts there. Number 3 is Spencer Strider. This one scares me a little bit because he's kind of struggled this year. But he is going into San Francisco, so I do like that matchup there. If you can find 7+ strikeouts, I'm okay. Then we look at Joe Ryan versus Toronto, 5+ strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez versus the Pirates, 5 or 6+ strikeouts. And then George Kirby versus the Angels, 5+ strikeouts is what I would look at there. So there you have it. That is your your Sunday breakdown, the main slate broken down for you. If you want to check out everything else we have on the website, go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you want to support the channel by leaving tips or donations, that's awesome. But just watching these videos, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on them, and watching the entire video a couple times a day helps out the channel more than you guys, I think, understand. So have a fantastic Sunday. Be on the lookout for that Sunday Night Baseball video breakdown for you. I won't be around when the lineups lock for the Sunday Night Baseball because my child has their second T-ball game. But it'll all be out. Everything will be done before 6 p.m. So have a fantastic Sunday. Leave comments down below. Definitely jump into our free Discord, which you can find down below. Check out the article. Check out everything that accompanies today's slate. Good luck on this main slate. Let's have a great Sunday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Good luck. And as always, bring home some bacon.